Welcome, ladies and gents, from the far-flung parts to the heart of the triad. There is a mystery challenger for the Madison Square Garden WWE Championship defense, 2 open challenges, and a new tag team that everyone saw coming. I'm Casualeann, come with me. Raw Talk February 21st, 2022 edition begins with the end. Seth Rollins and KO defeating RK Bro to be added to the Raw Tag Team Championship matchup, making it a triple threat. The emphasis this evening is on who has a path to WrestleMania and who doesn't. Brock Lesnar faces down the special counsel for the Tribal Chief, and Paul Heyman reminds the Beast that he has another title defense before WrestleMania. This was fine. Brock shows up on SmackDown and Raw, but that's the problem with one person holding all the top titles, or there only being one title. The same people are featured again and again to the detriment of others. These people have already been underutilized even when everyone has their own show. Revan and Camp transition to Miz licking his A-list wounds. After his Elimination Chamber loss to Rey Mysterio, he promised to find a partner to deal with the Mysterios. They beat on the Mysterios and Paul fell on Rey. Commentary called it a skull-crashing finale. That was very generous of them. Kevin Patrick asks why Miz actually chose Logan Paul. Miz cites how big a star Logan Paul is, how everything he touches is successful, and how the locker room just hates him. He needed an outsider, someone he could trust. To KP follows, Dominic stood in your face and you sparked something in him. Are you not threatened by what could come in the following weeks? Miz quips, I've got Logan Paul. We're awesome. Our special guest host for the week, JBL, notes both of them being supremely unlikable and being crossover stars. So he says Miz has had some issues with Rey, but Rey's the ultimate underdog. He's gonna be fine. He'll still be around. But Redmond asks how the Mysterios need to prepare. Rey Mysterio has all the experience in the Hall of Famers' eyes. He says to let him test the duo out, see how they're doing a few minutes into the match and what kind of moveset Paul is going to have. I'll be honest, I was way more into the idea of a Miz Mysterio's tag match before I found out that Logan Paul was going to be Miz's partner. I felt like Johnny Knoxville was enough, especially challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. Bad Bunny had shown up on Royal Rumble and he did a great job. We were good for celebrities, at least until SummerSlam. After ads, they replay the finish of the Finn Balor-Tommaso Ciampa Dirty Dogs tag match. The Dirty Dogs took an L in preparation for the Tommaso Ciampa-Dolph Ziggler NXT match. The United States Champion, the dual double-minded Damian Priest, issues a challenge for next week. Now Balor comes out in his 28-pack glory and accepts. For his part, Finn Balor expresses respect for Damian Priest, but notes that what Priest is looking for in his opponent, a serious fighter, a world champion caliber competitor, he's all of that. He lets Sarah Schreiber know that next week, people will know that the Prince is back. The JBL thinks this is the absolute best time to get your name out there to be your best in anticipation of WrestleMania. The camp asks if Balor needs this more than Priest actually does and how great this match could be for the United States Championship. JBL argues that Damian Priest is the guy that's hot right now, and that's exactly who you have to beat. Everyone is clamoring for those spots to get on the show of shows. So, that sounds like a pretty solid match. I hope that the two of them tear down the house and that it's the match of the night tonight. I almost wish they would have saved it for WrestleMania, but there may be some sort of screwy finish that puts a proper bout off until WrestleMania itself. Redmond moves the topic to the Undertakers Legacy in anticipation of the Hall of Fame induction. JBL puts him in the company of Jim Brown, Jack Nicklaus, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth. That's who the Undertaker is to this particular industry, and he deserves his own wing in the Hall of Fame. I think a physical one has to be built before there's actually a wing dedicated to someone, but I agree with the concept. JBL talks about his history with the dead man, how many matches they've had together, and how he could be counted on to carry the company when times were good or bad. Redmond asks what speech we'll get on Hall of Fame night. JBL is wondering about who will actually induct The Undertaker. He's trying to figure out whether he'll be in character or not. Half and half, solely Mark Calloway. But he says he's an intelligent guy who's a great public speaker. After more ads, we get a package detailing the women's Elimination Chamber match. I thought this, in terms of character, was absolutely fantastic. I loved the way that the ring gear was adapted to be more modest for the Saudi crowd, but still had each lady's individual personality. No more t-shirts. No more t-shirts ever. There wasn't as much physicality as I'd expected, but I was ecstatic that Bianca Belair won, and that Alexa Bliss was still part of the final two. She doesn't need to come back that much just to be buried in the first couple of eliminations. This clash with Becky Lynch should be epic. Sarah Schreiber asks about the EST's feelings. Bianca talks about how excited she is, how Becky had to remind her of the 26-second thing, so she had to remind her of who the EST is against Doudrop. Tell Becky that. That's about all she said. The rating for this week is 2.5 out of 5. They really rushed through the wrestler segments. There was way too much recap. This was like July 2021 levels of recap, when they were kind of restructuring the show and didn't know what to do for like a month. Of course, you want to cover what's happened on the main show, but a major underrated appeal of Raw Talk and Talking Smack is the promos, the context, the possible storylines that you could get or not get. If all you're doing is showing clips from what happened 10 minutes ago, then you're doing the show a major disservice. So there's no must-watch segment either. It's incredible that there's this inversely proportional relationship between the quality of Raw Talk and Raw itself, because the better Raw is, the worse Raw Talk seems to be. Maybe there's just no effort left for the interviews filmed for the post-shows. I don't know. But it is something I find interesting. What do you all think? Are you looking forward to Priest versus Balor? Who will walk out of WrestleMania the Raw Women's Champion? And who's going to be Brock Lesnar's Madison Square Garden challenger when Bobby Lashley inevitably can't emerge from concussion protocols? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tap that bell icon to make sure you get notifications for when new videos come out. Again, we are currently just 2 folks away from 200 subscribers. If you've been considering whether you'd like to subscribe, now is the time to pull the trigger. Pull being click and the trigger being the icon. And I have something in the works for when we reach that milestone. But if there's anything you'd like for me to do when we hit 200 subs, let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.